If you've ever been told that you need to regulate your nervous system in order to manifest, but nobody has actually explained what that means to you or why your physical body would affect what you're able to attract into your life, then this episode is going to change the way that you understand manifestation because there's a missing step in almost every manifestation teaching online, and it's this. Your body is a conduit for manifestation, not just your mindset, not just your energy, your physical body. As a medical intuitive, I see this constantly, where someone's manifestation blocks are not just emotional or subconscious, they're physiological. In my work as a medical intuitive, I often see physical patterns before someone experiences them fully in the body. And what's fascinating is how often these patterns correlate with the same areas where people feel stuck in life. So, what does it actually mean to successfully regulate your nervous system? Are you supposed to meditate more, or be on a permanent health retreat? Or should you just give up right now? I mean, throw the towel in, because in this day and age and all the stress in the world, how is anyone going to have a relaxed nervous system? So we must be doomed then. Not so much. In the previous couple of episodes, I've really started to define the manifestation paradigm, taking the woo and mysticism away from it and really grounding it with a tangible process that works, effectively putting you back in the driver's seat and ensuring that your manifestations are inevitable. One of the messages that came through this dialogue with Spirit was just how important our physical body was as a conduit for bringing forth our desires. They really emphasize the importance of our physical selves within this process. And of course, that makes sense because the new manifestation paradigm, the mastery method, it's all about the internal work. It's about healing our blocks, our core wounds, and expanding our intuition to create more effectively in our lives. So it stands to reason that spirit did not just mean cleaning up our emotional internal state, but also our physical body. That is our nervous system, our emotional regulation, self-talk, and of course, our physical health and fitness. Manifestation isn't just about attracting things energetically. It's about having the physical capacity to hold the life that you are calling in. So today, let's dive deeper into how and why our physical bodies are so vital and important to us becoming the ultimate creators in our lives. Our physical body is the obvious physical self that we can see and touch, and it's everything inside. It also includes an external invisible layer, which is our energetic auric body. The aura has been talked about and intuited on quite a lot over the years, but essentially it is an extension of our physical selves and it is comprised of many layers, each with its own purpose. The layer of the aura that is closest to our physical body is the etheric body. It's just a couple centimeters above. And it's associated with physical functioning, physical sensation. So if you have a site of injury on the body, for example, heat can often be felt just a few centimeters above within that etheric layer. We then have the emotional layer, which is where our emotions live. And you will now understand that the saying, he wears his heart on his sleeve, actually means about 5 or so centimeters off his arm. Some people hold very strong emotions within their energetic bodies. And we typically associate that with walking into a room and being aware that somebody is cranky or upset without having to speak to them directly. Now, the mental layer or your thought field is where thoughts can be discharged and hidden. This would include both subconscious and conscious thoughts. My hubby is currently completing a master's degree right now. He is in deep study mode, and during exam time, when I tune into his mental layer, It's just a jumble of words and equations and scenarios that are being processed, largely around his head, but it can be anywhere over the body within that layer. Then there is the astral body, and there are additional layers beyond this. The first three layers are associated with the physical body and world. The fourth, the astral, is associated with our heart chakra, and it is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, because the layers beyond the heart chakra, they're associated with our spirituality. It's important to know that signals pass between the physical and spiritual layers via this heart chakra, and they pass between the whole auric layer and the physical body itself too. It is a dual signal. It definitely goes both ways. We can experience issues in our energetic layer from fear, trauma, shock, subconscious blocks, anything that is hidden. In some ways, it's almost as if something is too much for us to handle. It will overflow into our energetic bodies. Other issues with our energetic layer can stem from psychic attack, poor energetic hygiene, which is so common, and can also develop from emotional overflow. Consider extreme emotions that one might face with a heartbreak, a sudden passing in the family, chronic stress, or other emotional upheaval. If these emotions remain lingering, unprocessed, unhealed, compartmentalized, and squirreled away, then over time they can metaphorically brew and rot, and that signal will transmit into the physical body, and that is the beginning of disease occurring. Some of the issues within our energetic layers can simply stay within the auric layers, and they can begin to affect the energetic signature of our auric frequency. They take on a new resonance and a new vibration, a new frequency, whatever you want to call it, but it starts interacting with the universal laws differently. So when the frequency within our aura changes and it starts interacting with the universal laws, we start creating a spider web of patterns and habits on the etheric level first, long before we start seeing these patterns and habits show up in our physical reality. The way that I saw it, where Spirit showed me, is like a mini version of our solar system, except that you are the sun, and your experiences, your opportunities, the hurdles you face, they revolve around and to you. They're not on fixed trajectories like the planets as such, but they definitely magnetize around us and are shaped by this etheric spider web. Our subconscious stories, our old wounding patterns, these are the simplest examples here of what affects our relationships, experiences, and opportunities. If we hold on to a belief that we aren't good enough or worthy enough, then some people will manifest experiences of being cheated on, overlooked for that promotion. If we hold the belief that everything is hard for us, then you'll find yourself working much harder to get ahead than your friend who seems to have everything show up for them on a silver platter because their belief is that everything comes easily to them. Think of these hidden beliefs and patterns as little trips or pulls within the spider web. When they are present, it warps the web. It is no longer perfectly balanced, perfectly in alignment. Something's literally off, and often you'll see a corresponding misalignment in your life. It's no wonder that this affects your ability to land your manifestation. Think about it as trying to land an airplane, but the comms inside the plane and the orientation are a little bit off. So it's like landing a plane on an angle. It ain't going to work so well. Now, also remember that manifestation is a term that has been associated with special people and special things, but it's not. It is you in action 24/7. It is everything you do and don't get to experience in your life. And if you are calling something new in, like a promotion or a job opportunity, and it's in your orbit and not landing, then there is likely a reflection. a little tear in your web, which is a block, a belief, or some trauma within your energy field. Remember, your energy field's frequency is constantly working in conjunction with your day-to-day life and experiences. And some of these reflections will create different scenarios for you to experience. Your energy field is not separate to you. It is an inherent part of you. However, for many, it's an invisible part. So it doesn't mean it's not there, but this energy field is like the engine room of our magnetism. And this is what drives and manifests our experiences. Now, when we turn our attention to our physical body, the very immediate message that has come through is that our physical body is so much more complex than we could possibly know, that we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible when it comes to medicine. It truly is in its infancy. And considering how many advancements we've made in medicine, that was an entirely mind-bending message to receive from Spirit. So watch this space as to what's going to happen over the next coming years. Now, we know that our physical body is affected by our energy body and vice versa. Our emotions and thought field layers are often the dumping ground of our overloaded stress and emotions. And the higher layers are our connection to our higher selves and all things spiritual. So after all this, you're probably thinking, how on earth is our physical body a conduit for manifestation? Because it is this physical manifestation of our spiritual selves here in this physical experience that we know as Earth. And don't forget that our physical and energetic bodies, they're always in communication. Our physical bodies are affected by the environment that we are in as well. And this can be perceived through our auric layers. I provided an example earlier where we can often have an awareness of someone's emotional state when we enter a room. And another would be if somebody who is interested in you, they're sussing you out, there's going to be an energetic meeting first where both of your energetic bodies connect to see if there's possibility there. Now, if you are sensitive enough, you may even perceive this happening to you. And now that you know that this is a thing, be careful of projecting your energy onto another person, because this doesn't just happen in romantic situations. It can also happen when you are angry or frustrated at someone. Our physical body can also be affected by everything in the physical and our physical needs. The quality of the water that we drink, the quality of the food that's consumed, the associated chemicals and preservatives lurking in our food, water, the air that we breathe. It's also your exposure to toxins, viruses, bacteria, and the effects of physical trauma and stress, the adrenaline release, the hormones, and our own natural ability to effectively process, digest, detox, or not. When our body becomes bogged down with stress, disease, chronic conditions, infections, injury, or anything else, it can be felt in the body. Now, we know this most commonly with a physical injury, but when we are chronically dehydrated, as an example, it can be felt in our muscles and our fascia. You'll often feel stiff and tense. Our skin becomes dry and our stool becomes impacted. When someone is highly stressed, this also shows up in the muscles in a different form of tension. Imagine the freeze response in full action. Muscles that are, for all intents and purposes, frozen stiff. When someone's liver is burdened, let's say from something that causes sluggishness, a diet that's high in fat, too much alcohol, and all the way through to somebody who's undergoing chemo, that will be felt in their adipose tissue. That is the body fat that we all have on our bodies. The adipose tissue literally feels sluggish. It becomes harder to move, but it's not yet fully dense. When somebody's body is overloaded with toxicity, and I'm thinking of a particular client's example here, they'd had a bad run of viruses and medical interventions. They had huge stress in their personal life. And unfortunately, the total overload of the viral, the chemical, and the emotional meant that they were unable to effectively process and clear all of that within their body. And it was creating intense migraines that nobody could pinpoint the reason behind. This client developed incredible sensitivities and reactions to the most basic of things, like certain fruits and vegetables. In this case, they developed brain fog. There was constant debilitating issues with these migraines, and their sensitivity to pain made it very difficult for them to seek any kind of treatment because the treatment was painful to receive. So it was a difficult case of not being able to get better because they couldn't tolerate the treatment to help. It was very complex. Now, imagine for a moment you being so bogged down with physical injury, with pain, with chemical exposure within your body. And I've had this experience myself. In addition to the pain, you start developing fatigue, brain fog, bloating, fluid retention, then more serious diseases because the body isn't coping and clearing. Do you feel that you can go about your day with ease like this? Do you think that you can achieve your goals and your dreams this way? And what about whether you are still highly magnetic and a super attractor? When you're caught in the physical problem, no. But remember, manifesting is what we are doing 24/7, even when we're not well. We might not be manifesting dream jobs and luxury cars, but we can definitely manifest for better health and for better experiences. We can manifest for the next therapist to come along and give us the next step that will help us, or this podcast, for example. Okay. Another one of my clients has MS, and I have regular appointments with her. And she is an amazing manifester. And you know why? Because she's accepted her diagnosis, she's taken charge of her health, she listens to her body, and when she needs to rest, she rests. When she's feeling good, she's out running her business, looking after her grandbaby. She's very tapped into her intuitive, creative flow. When I receive intuition for her, those messages, she already knows them because she receives them. She just needs an additional level of confirmation to come through another third party for her to go, okay, I'll listen now. So I've wanted to highlight a couple of extreme examples for you to help you see that there are always opportunities. Perhaps you know someone who is struggling. Perhaps this has helped contextualize how well you actually do feel. And what I wanted to show you the importance of is that no matter what you have going on in your physical self, anything is possible for you. Spirit has instantly showed me that the lighter the body, the better the magnetism experienced, and that this is available for you with or without illness. Now, when we do have illness, we can create lightness in our body with simple supportive changes. That could include a new supplement or a change in diet or even a beautiful treatment like a massage or a facial that simply makes us feel great. Lightness will also come with a change in our emotional and mental states. It is shifting our mindset and choosing peace and happiness. It is living in gratitude and in joy, which is a choice that is always available to us. Lightness in the body comes from the true settling of the nervous system. So all those gurus out there telling you to relax, to manifest, they weren't wrong. But it is the process of embodying and integrating all of the elements that are hard and stressful for us and taking the charge out of them. When your body is stuck in survival, chronic stress, and hypervigilance, your nervous system will prioritize protection, not creation. You need to feel safe in order to expand. I've brought to your attention how unprocessed trauma, emotion, and stress accumulate in the energy field. It's about clearing this energy in your body, in your energy field, in your mind. It is not keeping the score. It is releasing the score and bringing back an equilibrium and balance. Now, can you imagine setting yourself up with daily bouts of joy and gratitude? How that can shift your cells, how it can positively affect your energy field, and its interaction with the universal laws and the experiences you receive. What about the shift that adding more water can bring, or switching one fast food meal to a healthy salad or a plate of veg? Can you see the importance of striving towards a healthy body as a non-negotiable necessity? In whatever way stepping forward towards healthy looks like for you. Because in doing so, we're building awareness, we are heightening our senses, we are strengthening our magnetism and our own inner body's wisdom. And this awareness and these actions, they make you truly magnetic. And this is available for everyone, in everybody right now. Remember, our energy field and our physical body, they're always interacting. I see it as two sides of the infinity symbol. They are inextricably linked. Manifestation isn't just something that you do with your mind. It is something you embody to your nervous system, your emotional health, your physical vitality, and your energetic field. They're all part of the same system. The more coherent that system becomes, the more naturally life begins to flow towards you. So if something you desire hasn't landed yet, don't just ask, what are you thinking? What's that mindset shift that needs to happen? Ask what your body might be holding onto, and what can you let go, heal, process in order to become lighter, so that you can hold the space for what you are calling in. If this episode has resonated with you and you've been feeling like something is blocking your progress in life, whether that is your health, your career, or your ability to move forward, this is exactly the kind of work I support people with inside my intuitive transformation sessions. During these sessions, I tune into your energetic field and physical body to identify what might be creating resistance or imbalance. And we explore the deeper subconscious, emotional, or energetic patterns that may be affecting your life experience. Many people come to these sessions thinking that they have a manifestation block. And what we uncover is often a much deeper layer involving the body, the nervous system, and the energetic field. If you're ready to understand what your body and energy might be trying to communicate, you can book a session with me with the link that I'll provide in the show notes.